3 months ago, Pentagon Chief Lloyd Austin revoked a plea deal that would have spared the lives of 3 of the alleged 9/11 co-conspirators. It would have given them life in Guantanamo instead of the death penalty.
But yesterday, a U.S. military judge reinstated the agreement. As News 13's Maggie McGuigan tells us, it's a bitter pill for the families of 9/11 victims, including a local man whose brother died in the World Trade Center's Twin Towers.
In July, the U.S. Department of Defense announced a plea deal for accused 9/11 mastermind Khalid Sheikh Mohammed and 2 other defendants. They would not go on trial, plead guilty in exchange for life sentences at Guantanamo Bay, and escape the death penalty. The outrage from the victims' families was so intense, U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin revoked that deal, reinstating the death penalty for the 3 defendants. But on Thursday, a military judge ruled the plea deals are valid and, quote, must go into effect.
I had no idea they could be reinstated. I thought that as the convening authority, that the Secretary of Defense, he's the top dog in the DOD. That was it. He said it. It was done. It was an order. He outranks everybody in the military.
Longtime Panhandle resident Don Arias has been a vocal advocate in the battle for justice. His brother Adam Arias was working on the 84th floor of the South Tower of the World Trade Center when a hijacked jetliner flew into it. He was one of 3,000 people killed on September 11th.
The whole overarching message of this thing, I think, is that you cannot kill 3,000 Americans and not pay a price for it. I mean, how do you do that? How do you cop a plea? But because of all the thorny legal issues around military tribunals, they've delayed this thing forever. Because of enhanced interrogation techniques.
The 3 defendants have been in custody since 2003 but haven't faced trial. Evidence against the men was collected through torture methods in secret CIA prisons. Although legal at the time, the U.S. has delayed the court dates to determine if the evidence will be deemed admissible in court.
Those people were terrorists. They were caught on the battlefield in a time of war, and they were interrogated by our intelligence services legally. I know your family member's dead, but boy, CIA shouldn't have done that. Well, cry me a river, I don't care. If Khalid Sheikh Mohammed was waterboarded, big deal. He's still around, my brother's long gone.
Victims' families were notified about the initial plea deals. This time, Arias says he got nothing. He hopes it brings some closure, but he still doesn't like the arrangement.
I want it over, I really do. And most people do want it over, but I want it to be over the right way. You know, I just don't want it swept under the rug. So, going to trial would be long and painful for a lot of people. I understand that, but we've been waterboarded, emotionally waterboarded by our own government for the last 23 years.
In Bay County, Maggie McGuigan, News 13, Panhandle Strong.
The military judge says the 3 defendants could be able to submit their guilty pleas as early as next week.